Welcome to the Success Secret podcast. Hope you are doing well. My guest today in this episode, we have Daniel Alfon. He is an expert in LinkedIn, basically. He wrote a book called Build a LinkedIn Profile for Business Success. He actually joined LinkedIn back in early 2004. Can you imagine that? When basically LinkedIn started. Daniel helps business owners gain new clients with the power of LinkedIn. So Daniel, welcome to the grid. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be part of the Success Grid, Hussein.
Awesome to have you here. So let's go to the beginning of you joining LinkedIn, because you basically joined in 2004. How did you join? Because I remember that each new software or each website or each service that was online basically was by invite only, I think, right? So what appealed to you with LinkedIn back then?
Yes, you're right. I got an invitation from someone I trusted. And I thought that if that person was sending me an invitation, I needed to check that new shiny object out. And I started back then. And then 2 years later, I was a salesperson and I needed to beat my quota. And for the first 2 months, I was struggling with no sales until LinkedIn showed me the name of the person I needed to reach out to. And looking at it today, it's very simple, but back then, my sales cycle got slashed by at least 30% simply because I knew who the right person within the organization would be. So that's the moment that was the aha moment that led me to look to see what's under the hood and decided I wanted to specialize in the platform. And since you started this show, hundreds of people have joined LinkedIn. According to LinkedIn statistics, every second, 3 people sign up.
Good. So do you think that, for example, LinkedIn back then when you started was the thing that would drive businesses, because mainly people see it as the place for a CV, right?
You're absolutely right. I had no idea what LinkedIn would become, but it's if you're an entrepreneur and you want to build your online business, okay, then you shouldn't think about LinkedIn as a place for you to get promoted or to find a new job. The best thing to do would be to consider it as a website that needs to convert your ideal reader. So if you're a business owner, you build your profile in a way that would make people understand that successgrid.net is the place to go. And if they're thinking about building an online business, you need to show them that you can help them achieve that goal. Instead of focusing on whether you joined the Arab Bank in 2015 or 2016, add information to your profile, upload a banner with a success grid and something about starting your online business, and add to your headline something that would explain what the success grid is, and that is likely to make people understand why you're part of the solution.
Yeah, so because, like, for example, LinkedIn or Instagram, for example, me personally, if I'm talking about myself, I get lots of messages like, for example, if you wanna increase your income, message this account, and the thing is, it tells you to message a different account. And I heard like basically stories the same thing with LinkedIn, right? And you know that because you are an early adapter to LinkedIn. So why do people do that on these? Why do they call in LinkedIn, or for example on social media in general? Do these things get results from your opinion?
They may get result, but they're hurting your reputation in the long run. Okay, the thing is that you can automatically you can use automation tools and send thousands of people to potential entrepreneurs and say, do this. And maybe, 0.5% would click on that link bait and go there. But 99% of people are going to look at Success Grid and and say, no, this isn't right. This isn't the sort of advisor I would like to work with. So I wouldn't advise people to do this. First of all, you have a real life reputation and you need to build on that. And you have a real life network and you need to build on that. People who know you are able to refer potential customers to you, potential entrepreneurs to you, And this is the best organic way to build your business, just like in real life. LinkedIn hasn't changed the way our minds are wired. We need to know you, we need to trust you, we need to like you. So start with the sandbox of people who know you and who can say, yeah, you need to speak with that person.
Exactly. So back to the, like you mentioned, for example, in the profile, you should specify certain headline, certain like basically an image saying about the company, what kind of it does, or the business or the person. So how is that important, and how is that actually, let's say, convert people into more clients, let's say?
Okay, because we're dealing with people with very short attention span. When we visit someone's profile, we're attracted by visual. So if I'm sharing my screen now and I'm sharing the success grid page, this banner is more interesting for me as a human, because I see the image, it's nice, I see the title success grid, and I see razor standards, and it makes me wonder what that means. It relates to me. So the very simple thing you could do is use that banner and add it to your own profile. And why is that important? Because very few people are likely to follow your page, but you as an entrepreneur, you're going to have hundreds of followers. And this is one major difference between LinkedIn and other platforms. The page is less important when you're starting out. It may become important when you employ thousands of people. But if you're only starting your business, forget about the page. No one will visit it. Start by your own profile and treat your profile as a website that needs to convert your ideal reader.
Actually very important, like you mentioned, because something that I have noticed, like it is that people like on LinkedIn mostly follow the person itself. There I see, you see a lot of some pages, you feel like some pages have some kind of following, but mostly are people, not just companies. That's a huge deal, yeah. So because we mentioned that, so the focus should be on the person's page, like me now, like you mentioned my image, and I think that you like the image. So
Yes,
do,
yes.
do you think I should focus, me for example, or any entrepreneur or business owner should completely focus on their personal individual page and make it there, and not really focus and give time? Because as we know, social media in general takes a lot of your time of the business or entrepreneur or whatever. So the focus should be on the personal page, right?
Yes, you nailed it. And every 6 months, just have a look at your business page and make sure it's up to date. But the day-to-day lead generation and the thought awareness and your marketing activities will happen through your website, through your profile, just because you rightly said, the natural action for LinkedIn users is to connect as individuals. You send you an invitation request to look at and to accept your invitation request and not to follow pages. You're absolutely right.
So in this regards now, what is the best way to make my own profile, for example, like kind of I don't want to say a money machine, but let's say a business machine. So
Okay, cool. So let me suggest saying 3 questions that will help you and our audience here. The first is define the ideal reader you'd like to attract on LinkedIn. Who's the ideal reader you would like to attract on LinkedIn? Is it a new entrepreneur? Is it someone else?
me personally,
Yes.
well, if I am looking for an ideal reader, I would say someone who was in my shoes before I got started, like basically wanted to start a business and don't know where to go, how to start, where to start, where to focus. Should they focus on social media following and these kind of things? I don't anymore focus on that. So, for example, so yeah.
Okay, so the ideal reader would be an existing entrepreneur or someone else?
Yeah, it would be someone who wants to start an online business,
Excellent.
basically.
Excellent. Okay. So the first question is to identify that person, and now you help me identify. The second question, if we could make those people who want to start an online business visit your profile, what action would you like them to perform? after they visit your profile and after they see what you've written here, what action would you like them to perform?
Well, hopefully they will read for now, if I'm talking now, for example, to go read my big articles on starting a business, because I have, like, for example, 2 articles. Mainly they are like, one is about 5,000 word, the other, for example, is 10,000 word, about goal settings and business. So these very good articles and very in-depth, so it will give them a very good idea about that.
Excellent. The third question is, are you helping those entrepreneurs immediately see those articles? Where can I see those articles?
Website.
Okay, so perhaps if you're open to it, let's try to change, and I would like you to share your screen and show us your LinkedIn profile, and then show me the article, the one of the 2 articles you'd like people to see, and we'll incorporate it into your LinkedIn profile now.
Well, that's difficult because I don't have my logins for the LinkedIn, and it's in the other
Okay.
PC. That's a different story.
Can you point me to the article? Is it here on the website?
Success Grid, yes, it's
Where
it's
can
on
I
the
find?
it's on the blog, I think. No, on the homepage, down. If you scroll down.
Yes.
No, on the homepage. If you scroll
Yes.
down a little bit. Yeah, see these articles. Basically, these what they call corner, the above, a little bit above.
One sec.
Okay. These articles, these 4 articles: superhero guide to starting an online business, productivity, person, and starting a business, Avengers guide to goal setting. These 4 articles are big articles in general compared to others, and they are cornerstone articles.
Excellent.
What online business website they say.
Excellent. So you like the superhero angle. Which one would you like us to highlight?
Well, the first one on the left, superhero guide to starting online.
Excellent. So let me try and do it and show you how I'm doing it on your profile, and you can do it after you record it. All I'm doing now is copy the link to the article itself. Again, the question was, where would you like people to go in order for them to understand that you're part of the solution? So after you log into your LinkedIn profile, you'll see an add profile section here. I'm going to click on add profile section, and I'm going to select recommended. Again, add profile section, step 1, recommended, step 2. Featured, and then I'm going to click on the plus sign. Featured, on the plus sign, and here I select add a link, and I'll paste the link to the in-depth article. And I wait a couple of seconds, and I see the image, and it's nice, and I see the title, it's great. And if I save this now, it will be the first featured element you see on my profile. So it will take you 40 seconds, and I think it's one of the most important actions you can perform. Decide what links you'd like people to see. Pick those links and then go to your profile and feature them, because when people visit your profile, they will see the featured elements here. And if you have only one, then it would be the full width, and they're likelier to visit that link and then understand that they need to reach out to you.
Awesome. Well, that's a great idea, actually. Great. But do you think, like you mentioned a little thing, that if it's just one, it will be the only one featured by its all width, right, of the page? So do you think you should put one there to focus on, or let's say for example, on my website we show, like, I have 4 basically cornerstone articles, what they call, mainly big ones. So do you think, like, I should have them all of them, the 4, or just mainly on just one?
Okay, so there's a range here. If you add all four of them, then LinkedIn will actually limit, and people will only see 2.5. So I wouldn't put 4 there. I would pick 2 or 3, but nothing prevents you from adding the 4th one or the last one lower in your profile. For example, here in the success grid, it will be mostly the same process. I'll go to the experience section and I'm going to add the same link to the experience section. And this is another way to highlight a link. I click on the pencil in the experience section where in your profile you would say success grid. I click on the pencil and then I will be able to add a media and I select the link and I add this one.
Okay.
And then it will show very nicely in the experience section. Now, the other questions are, is there an order you'd like people to see those articles? If there is an order, then I would start with the first or the two. If any of the four is good for you, so pick maybe the two strongest one or the two that are likely to make people engage and highlight those in the featured section, and maybe the third and the fourth you could add.
So as we saw now with you, you can upload an article, but I assume I didn't see, but apparently there is like, you can also add maybe a video, right? So
yes,
so that would be even better to engage, as we know, like video is more engaging than for example articles, right? So that would be even a better idea to have videos there.
Yeah, the question is what resource is going to make people understand they need to read more and discover more about you. So if you have the success grid video interview and you'd like to show people a recent interview, then that's great. That's a great way for you to engage them.
Yeah, it's awesome. But these are great tips. Actually, I didn't know about. I just basically sometimes share on LinkedIn in general, and most of the sharing actually comes from my. What I do is I share on LinkedIn on my page, and then I reshare it as from my personal profile. So now telling me that it's better to share on my personal page and these kind of images to be featured on my profile, these I think will make a difference and have some kind of a boost to my own profile personally, right? So
Yes.
so do you think there are, now we talked about a little like the cold calling, basically direct messaging people. So what are there any some kind of downside to LinkedIn, do you think, or is it all good?
Like any platform that has, close to 900 million users, there is some abuse. But LinkedIn is considered to be one of the most conservative and professional networks out there. And it's one of the rare platforms where you don't have necessarily to share very often in order to be successful. If you have great content, if you have educational content, that's great. But can you guess what the #1 activity for LinkedIn users is? According to LinkedIn statistic, what is the action that most LinkedIn members perform on the platform? Can you guess?
Like a post, I don't know.
No, it's not sharing. It's actually visiting other people's profiles. That's the #1 activity. And when you think of it,
for the purpose of adding them or following them, or just to check the profile of what they do and then escape the profile.
In some cases, it would be through search and you discover XYZ and you visit those people, or if they sent you an invitation request, usually you would visit their profile, or if you want to send them an invitation request, you would visit their profile. And any business meeting, any interview, anything important, you would Google that person. And for most entrepreneurs, their LinkedIn profile would be a strong Google result. For some of them, it may be even #1.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of, because already LinkedIn is a powerful website in regards what they talk about domain authority and domain rating. So it makes sense. For example, like you mentioned, if an article is there and someone is searching for a certain article, my article might go there for the link directly to it into LinkedIn.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. So you think that, for example, LinkedIn is should because we know like there are multiple social media channels, right?
Yes.
Is LinkedIn enough for a business to focus on, or from your perspective, being a LinkedIn expert, do you think that any business or company should also diversify their social media presence?
Okay, that's a great question. I think the answer would vary by the type of online entrepreneur we're thinking about. But the question I would ask is, where is the audience you'd like to attract? And if you mentioned video and my whole online business would be around video, then maybe YouTube is a key element I need to focus on. And if I'm a photographer and I build an online business, then maybe Instagram would be the place to be. And if my clients are on LinkedIn, then yes, definitely I would consider LinkedIn as a place for me to show my brand and to help people understand why they need to engage with me. So it's not about ourselves, it's about the people we'd like to attract. Where are they? If all of them are using TikTok, then forget LinkedIn and use TikTok. If they are on LinkedIn, then an additional benefit of LinkedIn is that when people visit your profile, they're in a business mode. They're likely to engage with you and hire you or ask for something that is professional, whereas where people use other social media channels, they're in a more entertainment mode. So would consume the content, but they're not ready to pay or they're not ready to do anything professional.
Yeah, I have noticed that, because like you mentioned, you feel like when you are on LinkedIn, most of the content there are about business or news or these kind of things. Whether when you go to other social media, like you mentioned, Instagram or other things, it's more like kind of entertainment, kind of visuals and content. So it could be distracting in the first place for that, this kind of content, and not directly to people who you want to do business with, right?
Yes, sir.
So what would you say, for example, now for a business that's starting out, how should they approach LinkedIn business?
Great. So the four elements I would consider: first is build their LinkedIn presence, first the LinkedIn profile, then have a strong connection strategy. After you build a strong presence and you connected with the right people, think about the content strategy you have. Do you even have content? Because you publish cornerstone articles and you have a podcast. Some people don't. So if I'm not producing any content, I could still decide I want to share other people's content. For example, I listened to an episode you released, and I would share that episode, linking to the success grid and stating my takeaways from your interview. So after the LinkedIn presence first, connection strategy second, content strategy third, and lastly, the lead generation. How are you going to generate lead for your business? How are you going to make more people aware of your online business? And usually this is the right order. Build your infrastructure first, have a strong LinkedIn profile, then decide who you'd like to connect with, quality or quantity, share the right stuff, and then start generating leads.
So I think we talked about how, when we were going through the example on how to put the most important things that you want to share on LinkedIn there, for example, how to structure a good profile, but and the content also, because when you share specific content, you want to keep sharing this kind of content, right? But the last point you mentioned, like new leads for the business. So how does that come into play when growing a business? When is that should be driven to a website, do you think? Or like, do you say, for example, run LinkedIn ads, which is me personally, I haven't done yet. No.
Okay. I wouldn't start by using LinkedIn ads, because LinkedIn ads are very expensive and they will bring you relatively few leads. But I would start with using LinkedIn organically. And that is based on your content strategy and your connection strategy. When someone visits your profile, I'm going to share something from my book. This is a classic funnel. So let's imagine we are enabling 100 new aspiring entrepreneurs who want to start their own business visit your profile. In order for them to even find your thing, you need to be on LinkedIn. And an additional question I could ask is, what sort of keywords are people going to use when they look for someone who can help them build their online business? If you think about those terms and you incorporate those terms in your profile, then LinkedIn search is amazing. There are billions of searches run every year. So maybe some of them will say online business coach, or online business consultant, or online business setup, or online business XYZ. Try to build a list of those terms and make sure that in the success grid section of your experience, you say, I help entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs launch their online business. I do it through questions like, which social media should you use? LinkedIn, Twitter, XYZ. Everything is natural for the human reader, but ideally you should also incorporate the right keywords. So you're thinking about the algorithm, but you're writing for the human. And that is likely to make more people actually discover your profile. And then the first 5 seconds is where your banner, the success grid banner that you have, and your headline can make them decide they want to understand more about you. And we mentioned the banner, but we haven't discussed the headline. And the headline is the most important real estate on our profile. So the headline is basically what people see just next to your name. By default, it would be owner, CEO, success grid, or whatever. But what you could do is tweak the headline for readers to understand why they need to read more. So, for example, success grid, launching your online business successfully, or something that would make it, if I'm interested in launching my online business, everyone is they're interested in success, but being more specific is likely to attract even more people to say, okay, let me see what success grid is, and maybe I will convert and I will reach your website. I could also check if we had a mutual connection, then I could reach out to that person and ask him about you. So if I'm seeing that a recent guest of Success Grid is a mutual connection and I reach out to him, then he would know about you and he would be able to make the introduction outside of LinkedIn. And lastly, when people decide they want to reach out to you, you need to make it as easy for them as possible to reach out to you. Because right now, if I'm looking at your profile and I decided that I wanted to reach out to you, when I click on contact info, there is no email I can use. Whether you want to be accessible via email is your decision. But if you are, then know that most people will not see an email. And when they try to click on message, this is a premium feature. So most people will not be able to message you.
Okay, cool. This is the first time I have known that. So if there is no connection between two people, if they want to message you, it's a premium feature. You have to be a paying customer for LinkedIn in order to message other
Absolutely.
people. You're not connected to.
Yes, and most people are not premium members, of course.
So speaking of this, you mentioned two things now, premium and the LinkedIn algorithm. So can you expand on these two individually?
Sure. I would advise online entrepreneurs who are starting up not to focus on premium LinkedIn features and to start organically, but they need to spend time. What I mean by that is that if you start by using a premium account and you don't know the platform well enough, then you're not going to gain a lot through it. Okay, a premium account is something that you consider down the road if LinkedIn becomes a tool you're using on a daily basis, 24/7, then it may be worthwhile paying for. But imagine what would happen if you started with LinkedIn and you get a premium account, you would not be able to actually leverage it. The time to do it is once you played enough with the free account you've seen the limits of the free account, and you know that if you pay, you will save that amount of time. So don't start with it, don't focus on it. I had a free account for years and I was able to do everything I wanted. Maybe down the road, when LinkedIn is really a tool you're using every day, all the time, then start considering the premium account. Don't start there. You need to invest time. You need to play with the platform. You need to run a search. You need to look at people's profile. You need to understand how that mechanism works in order for you to leverage the platform.
Okay, so and regard also this also connects in regards to the algorithm, because like we talked about here, you should focus on the free account and not go premium forever for whatever features they offer you, right? So we know that social networks in general, they have updates like maybe every day. So how's the LinkedIn algorithm work?
The LinkedIn algorithm is probably even more secret than the Coca-Cola formula. No, LinkedIn doesn't show any information about it, whether to users or premium users or even some of its employees. So it's a trial and error system. But what we know is that generally speaking, LinkedIn would like people to stay in the LinkedIn platform. So when you share things, say you share a quote from the podcast, or you share an external link to the podcast. The algorithm sees that you're sharing an external link, and LinkedIn doesn't want people saying to leave the LinkedIn platform and go elsewhere. But if you incorporate the quote or the text or anything from the external link to what you shared, then the algorithm is likely to show it to more people. Or, for example, what you could do is consider writing what LinkedIn calls a LinkedIn article. A LinkedIn article is like a post, but the shelf life of the article is longer. So it's not tomorrow morning I'm interviewing Peter Moore. Please listen to this. But here are the trends I've noticed in online business creation for the last year. And that in-depth article, just like the superhero ones you have, they could be read today, they could be read in 6 months' time, and they would still be valuable. So having a LinkedIn article is going to help you share it across LinkedIn, because when you share it, LinkedIn knows that if I click on it, I will stay within the garden of LinkedIn and more people will actually see it.
Share within LinkedIn, which is like, I assume, not assume, it's for sure every social media networks want to keep the users in it. They don't want them to live outside of it. So it's very well known with Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever they do, the purpose is for people to stay on the platform, not leave there. So yeah, do you think that we missed an important subject to talk about here for the audience and we can revisit now?
I think I don't want to be too overwhelming. We've covered quite a lot. I'll try to rephrase actually something we discussed for anyone to take a simple takeaway. Number one, who's your ideal reader? Number two, what action would you like them to perform? And number three, are you helping them to send by telling them and showing them the right information at the right place in the right order for them to convert? The right place is your profile and not the company page. To show them means the visual banner, and to educate them through the headline and through the text and the keywords. And what I could share with you is also a giveaway on my website that is a cheat sheet about improving our profile headline.
So where can people get in touch with you or get this cheat sheet?
With pleasure. The best place to go is danielalfon.com, and on the homepage you will see the freebie, and it's a simple cheat sheet with examples before and after, and they can download it for free, and it's likely to help them write a more customer-centric headline.
Good. So one last question. You are, I would consider a LinkedIn expert, but you are very good at it. But what are you not good at. For example, in regards to social media or whatever it is that you might think of.
Well, do I need to answer that question?
Uh, as much as you want. If you don't want to,
Okay, no, that's fine. I don't like, I'm not good at pure sales. I'm probably better in relationship sales or consultative sales, where we agree together that the solution is X, Y, Z, and then I would be able to provide it. And this is something it took me a lot of time to understand where I'm better and where I need to improve. Some people are born sharks with the ability to walk into a room and sell to everyone. That's not how I would describe myself.
thank you, Daniel, for being here with me on this episode of the Success Secret podcast. I really enjoyed it. Lots of inside tips for building a great LinkedIn profile and connections there and leads. So thank you for that. Thank you for being here today with me.
Thank you, Hussein. You're the superhero with the content, and thanks for helping new entrepreneurs.
Thank you.